You are now tuned into the sounds of Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
Sitting looking back on all the times we shared, when I acted like I just didn't really care, and it wasn't fair. You stood by me, girl, when I was so untrue, but this is my promise, girl, I give to only you. Let me be the one you come running to. When you need me, I'll be there, just to let you know that I do care. Baby, I promise, girl, I promise, I'll always be true. And baby, I promise, girl, I promise you that I'll be right here for you. No matter the problem, baby, I'll stand by your side. Be right by your side. Yeah, can never be denied.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that's on all the time, anytime. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all content. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell. Bring your sports game with Big Nate Sports Talk.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Hanley, for that lovely introduction. Happy Easter, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. This is the final episode of Season 14, Episode 21 of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. We are giving what seems to be the last WNBA Mock Draft 2.0. The episode is finally here. Before we get to this, a few things I'd like to say up front. Like I said, Season 15 will start. Will actually start Monday. Actually, probably if not Tuesday, because we got to get the WNBA draft grades. We got to get the WNFL mock draft, and then the playoffs for the NBA start this upcoming weekend. So, the play-ins, I believe, are tomorrow, not Tuesday, for the NBA. But Season 15 will start this upcoming week. You see some cosmetic changes to Big Nate Sports Talk. So we're still working on some things. So everything should be ready to go by Season 15. That is the target goal. But in this episode, we are giving our 2.0 mock draft. There's a couple things I'd like you guys to take into consideration. From the 1.0, some have decided to stay for their fifth year, extra eligibility because of the COVID year, and also why not? If I had the option, I'm going to take it. My concern with this draft class, I feel like it's a prelude to next year, because next year's is definitely going to be loaded. I've seen some mock drafts, and I'm really quite disappointed to kind of see some players go really low, some high. I question that, but this is my final 2.0 mock draft. The draft is it's tomorrow. So we'll have this video up before the draft starts. So the 2023 draft, I believe that this draft will stand out compared to not maybe last year's, but last couple years. I mean, we're really hits and miss. And we're going to start with the number one overall pick. And I really feel like there'll be a trade in the first round, but I'm sticking with the Leah Boston here as number one overall pick. It's a conspiracy. I just don't really understand how much more do you need. They're very guard heavy. You drafted 5 players last year. I don't really see where Aaliyah fits with Nalissa Smith, Emily Inksler, Queen Egbo, Lexi Hall, and then Destiny Henderson. At some point, you have to, if you're Lynn Dunn, my question would be, is this your franchise piece? Like, to understand she's a defensive force around the basket, an elite rebounder, an elite scorer in the paint. And I feel like she can definitely turn some things around in Indiana. But my concern is with this number one pick, you kind of, what more do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this in Indiana, she'll put her offensive individual offense to the side and draw the defenses on her, which I think will definitely get Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Desi Henderson, Nelson Smith, and Emily Enksler easy shots. But I really see a trade here because I don't really know what else you need, and I don't see how she will fit alongside Alyssa Smith. I just have questions with that. The second overall pick, the Minnesota Lynx select Haley Jones. I saw some mock drafts where she went as low as 8. I feel like Aaliyah Boston and Haley Jones should be number 1 and number 2 overall picks. When I look at Haley, I feel like a lot of this is coming from she has not developed an outside shot, which for some that will limit her, which will limit her upside. She's still a versatile player, but I think that is something that can be developed as time progresses. Yes, we get it coming out of Stanford. You know, they're a slow-paced offense, and I really feel like she's a good fit for Minnesota because, especially with Cheryl Reeve, she's going to learn alongside Kelly McBride and Ariel Powers. They're going to help her be a shooter, and they're kind of a little bit more of I wouldn't say a more up-tempo offense, but I really think for me, give it at least 2 years, at least, and she'll develop into a jump shooter. I'm just very surprised to see where she was at almost damn near 2-3 months ago, in terms of a top 3 pick, and she's almost out of the first round. So I was very, very surprised by that. Number 3, Dallas selects Maddie Seegers. You lost 2 significant players in the offseason. You lost Felicia Gray and you lost Marina Mabry. One to trade and one to free agency. You need to replace that. And I feel like for Dallas, this is who you go with. To me, the whole NCAA tournament, she played a huge role in them getting to the Sweet 16. She had 30 pieces in all those games. She still managed to put up that type of performance, but no matter whatever the defense gave her. I think she will be a good person to come off the bench. I'm not really. I'm trying to figure out in terms of. I could have went with a center. I saw some with a center, but you signed Kalani Brown, who I think will be able to go by the seat by week 1. And you have Tierra McCowan. I think you really need to replace your scores. And there's loads of potential there. I mean, shooting almost 37% from 3. Why not? And they need a floor spacer. And I think that's also was missing to me in the playoffs for Dallas last year. And I think that's something you'll see this year. With the 4th overall pick, I have to go with Diamond Miller. I'm very surprised to see she's high as the 2nd overall pick. The same, I'm concerned because the same criticisms I've seen for Haley Jones in terms of there's a limit on her outside scoring, I really have the same questions about Diamond Miller. The biggest thing is she has to develop a 3-point shot, and she also needs to work on when she drives to the lane, to the rim. She has this tendency to this left-handed flipper, and we need to really work with her. And she needs to develop a fadeaway or not going left. I mean, she has the ability to stretch the floor. She has great ball handling. I think she can defend. She's lengthy. She has the size. And to me, I think her defense to me was the key for Maryland's success. She averaged almost 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, and a run to the Elite 8. The biggest issue, painfully, against South Carolina was the fouls. which we're not going to get into. But that's on the subject for another video. But I'm comfortable with Diamond here. I think Diamond Miller will definitely be a good ball player. I just think the 3-point shooting needs some work, and I think if she's a guard and has a forward body, like outside of Aaliyah Boston, I don't think anyone else can top that. And also too, she definitely responded to all the criticisms about her health, injuries coming back, and she played well. So I see the Mystics taking Diamond Miller. Number 5, Dallas selects Jordan Horston. I went with another guard here because it's still the same thing. You really have to look at it this way. I really think she more scoring off the bench for Dallas. The reason why I have it because her athleticism, her defense, and she's very, very the energy that she will bring to Dallas will be key. When you look at Jordan, she can shoot the three, great efficiency. She's very physical, and when you can take ball handling off pressures off Enrique and Diamond DeShields. And again, you don't have much depth behind them, so why not? And then also too, I kind of have some questions in terms of Setu Sabally, her health, because there were some games this year where she missed due to injury. But you need some guard depth behind Enrique and Diamond DeShields. Now, who's your new backcourt? And I think Diamond and Maddie for sure are your picks to replace Alicia Gray and Marina Mabry. Number 6. Stephanie Saros. I went with the center here. If you asked me would there be a trade, I could potentially see one here. The only thing other than Ashley Jones that stood out was Stephanie Saros. She wanted to, and I believe she wanted to get one more year to play because she only played 13 games this season because she tore ACL. So I mean, she's 6'6". She's a elite scorer in the paint, on posting up and pick and roll. And she did a really good job, particularly defending the paint. My only concern is when watching Iowa State, there were a lot of times where I didn't see her come out the paint. So I'm not really confident in taking a player, one, that's going to be out for a good chunk of the season. And then number 2, her mobility on defense, especially when now an ACL injury. I really question it. If you held my feet to the fire, there's some other players I could have taken here. I could have put, oh my gosh, there's so many. I could have really went with another center, but there really wasn't nobody else to me that stood out as a first round pick. It's particularly center. I could have went with maybe Abby Myers, Alexis Morris. I could have went with Dorka from UConn. There just really was not anybody that stood out and said, this is somebody that fills a hole. And to me, Atlanta needs a center. So if Atlanta takes her, we'll see. But she will not be ready at least until after All-Star break. It's coming off an ACL injury. You might not see her this year, but that's what I went with. 7, Indiana Fever take Bria Beal. Yes, it started like the South Carolina Fever. When Lynn Dunn took over as GM for Indiana, she made it clear her bread and butter is the identity. It's defense. And I think Bria Beal will be a great fit for this team. To me, she can defend multiple positions on the perimeter, and she will accept the challenge of guarding the best player. I will think continue the development of the 3-point shooting. I think you will definitely have a 2-way guard forward for years to come. I think she will definitely be a good player, particularly you kind of will already be on a team that already has shooting, but I could see that. Um, Atlanta, I went with Grace Berger. Um, Only reason why I could have went Letitia here, but for me, the reason why I went with Grace here is for a couple things. One, I like her her ability to shoot the ball. She can extend her range past 3 point line. Um, and when I look at Atlanta, even though you have Alicia Gray, you have Ryan Howard, Ari McDonald, um, it wouldn't phase me if they took another guard just for depth purposes. Um, Eric Wheeler's not there. I think Christy Wallace is gone. Um, I could have waited till the 12th pick to take Grace. I mean, really, set 8 through 12 are interchangeable, in my honest opinion. Um, but I feel like Atlanta could really use some more depth. Um, that's why I went with Grace here. Number 9, I went with Lou Lopez Sinacho. I feel like you have to kind of start somewhere with rebuilding. Um, Now the Brianna Stewart's gone. Now this is Jewel Lloyd's team. Um, she is a versatile scorer. She has shot better than 40%. I really think if Seattle uses her the way I think they'll use her, I think she'll be good to go. Um, I think she'll bring a lot of potential. I see it. I see the flashes of what she can be for this team. But I really, really think it's. I think she's the player for them, in my honest opinion. Before we get into the last 3 picks, let's get into the sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast, and that is Zagnif Apparel.
The following is a presentation of Zagnif Productions, LLC. Introducing Zagnif Apparel. Our comfortable line of leisure wear and athletic wear will have you comfortable and stylish at any occasion. Whether you're at the gym, out shopping, or just relaxing at home. Whether you're an athlete or just want to lay around the house, we've got the perfect outfit for you. Stop by our website today and pick up your favorite pieces. Zagnif Apparel. Dress like you're already famous.
And you can most certainly dress like you're already famous with a nice 15% off using my code, Big Nate. Again, thank you to Zagnif Apparel for being a sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Again, check him out, Zagnif Apparel. Great, great merchandise. And ladies and gentlemen, you can and you will dress like you're famous. I promise you that. Let me play my clip.
Guaranteed.
Let's get into the last 3 picks. Again, like I said, 6, you could really make 8 through 12 are interchangeable. I'm going to take with number 10. I'm going to say Letitia here goes to Los Angeles. I say that for a couple things. Now, I considered Ashley Jones here, right? Now, a couple things I want you guys to take in consideration. They did make a move. They got Dearica Hamby. But Dearica Hamby probably won't be back right away because she just gave birth to her second child. Congratulations, Dearica. So we know she's going to need some time to be ready to come back. Now, when I look at Los Angeles, you can really make the case. You could look for a guard, look for a wing player. I think they need some more wing. For me, they need some size and firepower at the perimeter. They were 10th in perimeter shooting. That's lethargic. Now, I also consider Ashley Jones here, but I think what Letitia brings to the Sparks is a couple things. I think she brings size. I think she, particularly on the defensive end, um, she has all the tools, her size, her athleticism. I think that's something that stands out as a prospect coming in this league. Um, I really think also too, in Kurt Miller's system, I think she would be a good fit. And if you pushed me, I would have considered Ashley Jones. As you've seen, I didn't have her as a first round pick. I actually have her going as the first pick in the second round. But if you pushed me, I would have taken Ashley Jones. But I think Letitia here would be a good fit here in Los Angeles. Number 11, I went with Miss Zaya Cook. Again, you can make the case maybe Minnesota, but I like Zaya here for a couple things. One, uh, the 3-point shooting is magnificent. And I think, again, the floor spacing and her on ball defense, you cannot sneeze at that. I think in Dallas, there's nothing wrong with beefing up some guards. I practically have them taking 2 guards and a forward because Dallas has 3 first-round picks. But I could also potentially see a trade with Dallas because they kind of they're kind of same boat as Indiana. You kind of have a roster that can compete for the playoffs. It's just what more else do you need? But I see Zaya Cook being drafted here because again, her on-ball defense, her 3-point shooting, her ability to space the floor, I think will definitely something to watch out if you're Dallas. I think this would be a great fit for her, particularly guarding opponents' perimeter scores. I can see that. I think she will flourish in the WNBA. And with the last pick of the first round, former Maryland Terrapin, Ohio State Buckeye, Taylor Mikesell. Um, again, Minnesota, they need depth at positions for guard play. Um, and I really do think she'll be a good fit. Minnesota has already signed a few um, guards for training camp contracts, but I really think with Taylor, a couple things that stand out. She can shoot the three for almost 42%. She's a high volume level 3 scorer. She's shown that all 5 years of college. Um, I really just think there's just nothing else that she can. I don't see any other issues. Um, I will say she's a little smaller. I think she's about 5'11", if I'm not mistaken. But I really think that you can use her almost as a 3-point specialist. And I think she will fulfill her role, particularly in Cheryl Reeves' offense as a scorer. And that's my 2.0 mock draft. Like I said, 8 through 12 are interchangeable. If I had to redo it, I would have taken Letitia here. If I was Los Angeles, I'd have taken Grace Berger here. But I kind of went on based on position need. And yes, you did go after Alicia Gray, but you kind of also needed some depth. I kind of think you need a number 2 guard, particularly alongside Ari. Um, so I I'm confident that this is what the draft looks like. I do predict that there will be 3 trades Monday night.
Guaranteed.
The Washington Mystics will have 2 first-round picks.
Guaranteed.
The Indiana Fever trade the number 1 overall pick to Phoenix for Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Guaranteed.
I think the Los Angeles Sparks will trade for a veteran player.
Guaranteed.
What else did I break down? Yeah, that's all I have. Those are my predictions. I do see that happening. I am disappointed that there's no draft party for the Washington Mystics, but there is media availability for tomorrow. Unfortunately, I did get approved for credentials, but you had to be in New York for it. So maybe next year, we'll see if everything's aligned right. Maybe next year I'll be up there in New York. But again, thank you for to shout out to for the opportunity to be a part of the coverage for the WNBA this coming season, especially with the Washington Mystics. I'm looking forward to whoever will be drafted with the fourth overall pick, and it's Diamond Miller, and I'm confident with that.
Guaranteed.
Um, let's get into the final message for season 14, ladies and gentlemen.
Incoming message.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize.
Final message. I hope that each and every one of you have had a great Easter. I hope that you've learned something during this time of resurrection. There's some things that I learned. And it was actually interesting when I learned it earlier today when I was in church. It's about confidence. And it's having confidence in yourself, but also having the confidence of understanding that that Jesus will get you through any situation, no matter big or small. I really quick. I'm just gonna take a couple minutes with this. There's a couple that they go by the name of, I think his name is Jason and Alexis Pure. If I said the names wrong, I apologize. But this couple went to a Tennessee Titans game, and the wife had she suffered cardiac arrest, and for almost, I'm sorry, it's not Jason. His name's Andrew. Andrew and Alexis Purr. About 90 days ago, Alexis had suffered cardiac arrest. Went to a Tennessee Titans game. I believe they went to watch them play the Jaguars. And from then until now, it's been really wonderful to see their journey as a young couple, also as parents. Being as a husband for Andrew, being with her every step of the way. She was in ICU for almost 50 days, to the point where she came off a ventilator. She came off a tray collar. She was able to eat. She was able to somewhat get most of her mobility back. Now, there's still some things she will need. She'll need home health assistance. So, basically how to walk and how to eat, occupational physical therapy, different things like that. But what really stood out to me was, I believe maybe about a week or so ago, it was the last day of her rehab. She got discharged, and we're not going to get into all the insurances and stuff like that. The last day she was discharged, they wheeled her out of her room and had like a little small crowd. I believe it was their families, respectively, and there was a bell, and you know how some they ring it as if you've beat cancer or if you've had a wound that's healed or something like that, and she had rung the bell, saying that she's going home, she's discharged, and it just brought a well of emotions, because for the last almost 90 days for them, it has been, it's been a journey to see where she was, for 3 minutes, when the cardiac arrest at the game, and to now, being able to be in church on this Easter Sunday. It's just reiterates that when you have confidence in the Lord, and when you have confidence in understanding that no matter the situation, God will always see you through it. And that's something I'm still learning. And I just wanted to give them a special shout out. Their names are Andrew and Alexis Purr. I follow them on Twitter. The story he's been sharing the stories of his wife through rehab, all those things, and it's just been wonderful to see what a great man he's been for, and just being to support the rock that she needs. And it just kind of went back to what my pastor talked about in church today, and it was just about confidence and walking with confidence, but more importantly, just being confident that no matter the situation, he will see you through it. I promise you that. And that's my final message. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. Be tuned in for future episodes. Please, again, I do appreciate the support you give me, this channel. Be on the lookout for future content. Be on the lookout for a Mystics article, MarylandSportsBlog.com. That's why we're writing for the Washington Mystics this summer. Also, as well, like I said, be on the lookout for some cosmetic changes. Season 15 starts this week. We will do draft grades for the WNBA draft, and we have the NFL mock draft 2.0. We'll probably get one more in there before the draft. We have 3. Also, too, there'll be some other things you'll see that are different. But until then, this episode will actually go up tomorrow, just about maybe a few hours before the draft starts. But until then, this has been your host. I will catch you on the flip side, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay safe. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace. Stay up.
But they don't know, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows but us, how we roll, how we roll. Nobody knows what we got but us. Let them keep talking, let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't know, they don't know, they don't. Let them believe that they know, 'cause they don't know, they don't know, they don't. Let them keep talking, they don't, they don't, they don't. How we roll. Let them keep talking, they don't, they don't, they don't. How we roll.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you, yeah. I wanna thank you. Ooh. For all the times you put up with me. Thank you. And you helped me retain my sanity. Thank you. I wanna thank you. And I wanna thank you. All I wanna do is say thank you for everything you do.